Oh, I should have let you have that one.
It's fine. It's just the only thing he has.
Yeah,
It's all I have.
I'm literally sorry.
It's the only thing.
Can you want to do it again?
Yes, sir.
Take two. What the heck? Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we usually review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh Phony Michaels. And today, as always, I am joined by
Megan, your Perrine.
Cody Scruffy Man Decker.
Thank you for tuning into another episode. Today we're discussing Spy Family once again. We already have videos on our channel covering the first volume and covering volumes 2, 3, and 4. So in this episode today, we will be covering volumes 4, 5, and 6. I think that currently in the United States, there are only 6 physical volumes out. The 6th came out recently as of this recording, but on the Viz app in Japan, there are a total of 8 out currently. On top of the fact that the anime trailer was just released, we also have a video reacting and discussing that on our channel as well. But we do want to spend a little time before we go through beat by beat to just kind of discuss how it felt, not just coming back to the manga, reading the manga again, because we've gotten so many people who have asked us, and one person in particular, when we were going to continue. How did it feel? We took a long break from reading it. How did it feel coming back? And Cody, you mentioned something before we started recording about reading this now, knowing that an anime is for sure going to happen and sort of that feeling. So walk us through it. Take it away.
Well, I forget how much I enjoy this series.
Yeah, me too.
Because I haven't read it since we last did an episode, and I don't think about it. And I was reading, I was just I'm just smiling and I'm laughing. This is so good.
It's so heartwarming. It really is. There's so many moments that they the best thing that they do is just the little things, the little details, the little callbacks. It just makes it feel so real, and it just kind of wraps it up in a little bow and presents it with an X.
Yeah, sure. It does do that.
Yeah. You did the I Spy a Good Manga thing. And now I'm imagining, I'm trying to I'm trying to guess what the voices sound like. Now apparently I have Lloyd's voice.
Yeah. Which I think is great. I think is what I pictured when I pictured how he would sound, which is not to say that it's anything crazy. It's just, I think we talked about it in our previous video. It's just a normal sort of voice.
A deep, I was at first I didn't think that fit, but then reading these sections and how people treat him, it actually makes more sense for him to have a voice like that.
Yeah.
It definitely, it's a charismatic,
charming, but
charming,
also,
cool guy.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. Yours gonna have definitely a soft voice, and then when
she's gonna have assassin mode
voice, and she's gonna get deep, and then Anya's just gonna be adorable and a little bratty
crazy.
and funny.
I just read Anya in your voice.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, you can do a great Anya.
Yeah, I think I can see how the humor, because his voice is more action hero-y than I thought it would, but he is, and also I can see that leading to the humor of him trying to be especially when he in his thoughts is entering spy mode, how he would have the spy narration, then he's gonna have to be Anya, I made you dinner.
Yeah.
And then how the way, similar to Way of the House Husband.
Yeah, he's going back and forth.
Yeah, and I mean Bond is gonna have a voice too.
I guess he would kind of technically have to.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it would just be word bubbles.
It would be maybe
Anya.
a narrator.
Oh,
well,
maybe.
because he has that whole chapter where he's thinking of things.
Yeah, but they're through flashbacks or through images.
Or through images and thoughts, I guess.
Yeah, that
I
would
guess
probably,
you're right. Maybe I was just hoping.
Yeah, you were just getting a little excited.
They're probably going to go for that thing where it's going to show us, and it's just going to be in that
dream bubble.
that when they animate manga pictures, in within an anime.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? It's just pictures, but they don't give it full animation.
Yeah.
It's doodles moving around. That's probably how his visions are going to be shown. Because I don't think they're going to do full on.
Yeah.
They're going to stylize it to be kind of like how Anya just thinks in general.
Yeah, I feel like we watched something recently where the the final moment, we were wondering how something was going to be presented in an anime, and I have a memory of us all sitting down watching it, and the last shot they just like threw up like a manga panel, or it was like a picture. It wasn't even. It was this moment that was supposed to be, or in my mind, I thought was going to be animated, and just this like well shot and executed, scene, and it was just like a slow zoom on a picture. I wish I could remember, but yeah,
I do believe they'll have a guy voice the wolves.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for it to be animated. I did kind of do what you did and started to imagine voices and started to picture all these things like coming to life. And what I also was really excited about was new characters. Like as much as I love the family and we've always seemed to get like every time we do one of these episodes, a new member. Bond in our last one was the new member and Yuri. But now we're getting to know Yuri like a little more, and where we last left off and where we first met him, he was like this like sussy older or younger brother who just like was obsessed with his sister. And now he does seem a lot sweeter, and there is like a sillier side to him, and still that serious side to him as well. And then another character that I'm actually like really, really, really excited to talk about.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I kind of like them more.
Whoa, my God.
And then there was one character that didn't work for me at all but the way the story treated them, I was like, well, you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Because I thought like, oh, is this going to be a recurring bit? And then it turned out they're like, no, that's done now.
Yeah, I wonder if with everything that and we're gonna go obviously more in depth with it, in a bit, but what parts? Because Spy Family, what's kind of awesome about it too is that everybody does kind of break off and they have their own sort of stories. Like, Anya has hers with like Becky is her name, at school, and Damien, and they have their own world, and then like obviously Lloyd and now this new character have their sort of like side missions, and then there's Frankie and everybody kind of Yuri. So is there anybody's story that you read that is maybe your least favorite?
I don't know. Maybe Yuri?
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, like, we kind of see it in these volumes. Like, he does have that moment of, like, realization of, like, his job, I guess. But it's like, I don't know. He's kind of just been, like, kind of one note for me. I mean, he's funny and he's cool, but, like, I'd probably rather see Frankie. I'd probably rather see, this new character because she is so funny. Damien, Becky, like, all the kids, like, I love those moments in the school.
Yeah.
They're always so cute and entertaining, and they're just so much fun to read.
Yeah, the brother might be the thing that I'm the least for.
Yeah.
As far as like his bit being. It's sort of like
government.
First.
Yeah, let's not skip
like,
over that.
When the story starts implying that like he's not obsessed with that, I enjoy him more as a character. But when it really is just like, especially when you see like, oh, she reads his mind and that's all he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of just like, all right, the joke is over for me. Now it's just a weird thing that feels like it takes away from the story.
Yeah.
From all the other characters.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I don't like about the school necessarily is, as much as I think it's great and fun and I love Anya and even Damien and their dynamic, like, I just hate anything that takes me away from the main unit, the main cast. Like, if I'm missing out on Lloyd time or your time or, even like, I felt like there wasn't as much Bond necessarily either. Like, there's a story and a chapter dedicated to like him and Lloyd, and there's other things that happen in the background, but
he seems like he's only gonna play a part in like the end, like big arcs that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, yeah, I like. I mean, they can't bring him around because he's a dog. But the moments that I see of him, I'm just like, oh my god,
because his
so
introduction,
cute.
like the whole like bomb,
yeah,
scare thing, and the Anya Lloyd, and how they in these volumes they kind of call back to that. Like that's another thing I like. Is it's really awesome.
Yeah, like how like he played such an important role, and then like and then he's just sort of like, and then he's just a dog for like the rest of the story.
And then he just like chews up Anya's plushies.
Well, I mean, it's exciting that we had all these short stories, we had some like character development and character background for these volumes, but we also get at the end of volume 7, like, okay, now we're gonna get the family unit. Now we're cooking, because now they're gonna be put in a position where they all have to work together, which is amazing. Just like the aquarium, and like that's a callback too. Or yours like, I cooked a meal for my husband and it made him go on the toilet all day, and it's like, if only she knew. That wasn't what he was doing.
But apparently she is a horrible cook.
Yeah. You know, she is.
That was another Yuri bit that was very funny to me.
He just loved all
When
of
he
her
loved the
cooking.
food that she made because he ate it as a child but was throwing up while he was eating it. But like,
They're like, how did he
genuinely
get,
liked it.
How did he get the nutrition he needed to become an adult?
But yeah, I mean, yeah. And the callbacks, I mean, too, like that sweet bonus chapter where they do go to the aquarium and with the penguins and everything, which I loved. And the tower and the bomb and everything, how that plush that Bond rips up is that penguin. And that's why it means so much to Anya. And, you know, Anya wanting to be good at, you know, her school activities so that when she's in situations like that she can help more.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess.
kind of enjoying the Anya story the most.
I think so too.
And I know it's a spy slice of life, the spice of life.
Oh, wow.
I enjoy seeing like this, like, you know, this complicated plot she's involved in. I did forget that she could read minds, like coming back.
Kind of, yeah, me too, a little bit for whatever reason.
What?
I forgot that, and then I really like how they'll like add in the bit of like they're still children, like usually at the end of these stories where she'll like have like I have this grand plan, then she'll just like fall asleep to take a nap because she is like 5 or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're in kindergarten.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was enjoying that a lot more than I think I did in the beginning.
And I liked having this little bit of competition, even though I hated anybody threatening or the family unit or dynamic. Like I did from like as a story, I did really, really like that.
Well, it makes you like think like, damn, like this is all just a act. Like
Well,
they're not actually married. They don't
Yeah.
actually have Anya as their kid. They're like just playing house. And then you have this person who has like so much in common with Lloyd and works with him all the time and like can do things like it's just so crazy.
And
You're
like
just
seeing them be like, oh, I just wasn't here in time to be appointed that role. And then it's like, I am like, well, they probably would have gotten along just as well. So it's like, it's not like they're like, they give her one thing to make them like, oh, I guess it's good that they're not there. But like the whole time you're just like, well, yeah, like it was just a random
but it's
thing.
just random.
And like great on its own. But when you mention like, oh, this person did have feelings. And
Yeah.
the only reason that it doesn't work out for them is they just weren't like in the room at the time.
Yeah. And that, you know, to that person, is a regular, average, just woman. And like she has no idea. Nobody has any idea that she's an assassin and that she has all these other things that she does.
We get a hint of that in the like their little match,
Mhm.
and it was so funny to me because she's just like apologizing. She's like, "Dang it, I did it again."
Mhm.
And the girl's like, "What the hell? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What? Who is this person?" So maybe, I mean, she is a spy. Maybe at some point
Someone-
she might be looking into you.
Someone's going to uncover it.
Yeah.
That we're only 8 volumes, you know, in, and it might have already happened past what we've read, but I feel like
Or
it's
both.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I am starting to feel like some of things are starting to take too long.
Okay.
Some of the school stuff, which I do enjoy, does feel like it does not even like I don't feel as much of a progression.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we kind of see it when we meet Damien's father finally. That's where I mean, obviously, like now it was like finally now we're getting into it. So now he knows who Lloyd is. Lloyd knows who he is. They've had that interaction. So I'm sure in volume 8 it's gonna pop off.
It's not that they are like the bits are starting to wear out. It is just like I'm like, I mean, how many times is she gonna like kill someone or like do like a super ninja move and people are gonna be like, I guess she was scared.
Because that's never like the plot has never really been the driving force behind Spy Family, or I think why people enjoy it or why people are even reading it. It is something though that, like you said, if things don't progress, not necessarily just because for the sake of the story, but for the sake of like the jokes, then it can get stale if you know she's constantly hiding this and Lloyd is constantly hiding that and Anya, you know, it can start to feel repetitive. But I think that when I read it too, have to kind of remind myself at least that like, oh yeah, like I'm just reading this so I can enjoy the moments.
Yeah, and also this I think I laugh the most reading this manga out loud.
Yeah.
Like, it's consistent. It's not even something I even think about because the humor is just a part of the world, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not like, okay, when's the next joke coming? I am just like, freaking Anya, man. And I laugh. It's such a natural humor that I forget it's a comedy
Mhm.
because it just feels like, oh, these people are funny.
Yeah. That's a great way to say it. I mean, and we got like maximum Anya cuteness again. What a hard thing to feel like you have to continually deliver on because her faces are always like new and funny, and she had that scene where they go shopping and there's all these like she's in all these different outfits.
And I was like, I was like looking at I was like enjoying like seeing like where I'm like, oh, I didn't like I got tricked. Now I'm like paying attention to like her cute outfits. I'm like,
It's so cute. I'm a sucker for whenever manga or anime do that, show the characters in different outfits because we always ever see her in like the school uniform.
Yeah.
And it was just so adorable.
I feel like they added a new bit of her or I didn't notice it before, of her just mispronouncing things or like trying to pronounce big words.
Yeah.
And I like that just being a casual bit of humor and like, oh yeah, she is a child.
Yeah.
I like that's what this series does really well is it's like that it's real, but also it's a joke and it just somehow just keeps working.
Yeah. And you're right. Like the comedy is just so baked into these characters and the dialogue that it doesn't feel like a comedy. It just feels like funny people interacting with each other. We can start going through it if you guys want. Start breaking it down unless you guys have anything else to add.
Hands up.
What the heck?
What the heck? He said it. Cody's also like he's like trying to not say what the heck anymore because he's like, it freaks him out that people like the what the heck.
Maybe they're just saying what the heck.
Yeah, you don't
you
know
what the heck.
Because now it's a say the line Bart feeling.
It is, right? Yeah. It's like
because I just said it and look what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a dancing bear over here.
Yeah. What the heck?
See, it's weird because it's not a catchphrase. It's just an expression.
We need a sound bite.
Yeah, but it's the way it's the way you say it.
Yeah, and then you do the head thing. What the heck?
What you for each word. What the heck?
Yeah. He's got it.
Let's get some what the hecks in the comments.
This is weird. It feels weird. Yeah.
Where we left off. I think kind of the introduction to Bond and with the addition of some like bonus chapters is kind of, I think, where we left off and where we come back in.
Like the aquarium and all that stuff happened. And where we come back in is her, like there's a scene where she walks and you think she's doing something sus and she has like a bag and it's like bleeding and then she shows up and they're like, you crushed the tomatoes and she's like, I'm sorry, and she's just learning how to cook because she's scared. She's constantly scared of Lloyd like getting another wife, like pretend wife.
I just realized her parts is Way of the Housewife.
Oh, kind of, yeah. Oh, wow. Because she's also, like an assassin, a killer.
Pretty much the
Cody,
same.
Dude, what the heck?
What the heck?
This feels I thought that was an interesting angle because they're in the will they won't they situation. She's like insecure about it.
Well, I don't even think that she like realizes her feelings yet. She's just like, if I don't do this, and I'm gonna be out of being a wife, and then I'm gonna have to get arrested for not being married. So I don't think she's like, oh, Lloyd, I want to make him the happiest he can be for that reason. It's more like, if I don't continue doing this, and
which is why the other character is like, I'm like, well, yeah, it seems like they got the short end of the stick here when it's like it's mostly out of convenience for Yor.
Yeah.
And where it's like, oh, and she like genuinely likes Lloyd.
But see, that's the thing, dude. Yor might be telling herself that it's because it's like because of Yuri, or it's to keep her secret safe or whatever. But I think like they both, and that's why I'm rooting for them, is because they both are discovering that what might have started as a farce is becoming very, very real. Did you want me to say a different word?
No, I was trying to think of what sounded like farce that you could be like, instead of a farce, it became a larceny.
Oh God!
It's because they stole each other's hearts.
Yes, and that's where I was going with that. Without a doubt. You can't prove that I wasn't.
Where are the jokes? They're scarce.
What the heck?
Scarce?
Yeah, I know.
I was just pronouncing it like it's spelled.
Yeah, well, how does it? Wait, hold on. Did you want us to like support your dissing of the joke we did?
Yes, because it was funny.
It was simultaneously like it was like you're like, oh, let me be in on the joke while also shitting on it at the same time.
And then being like, why didn't you guys back me up?
What
Because
the
you didn't.
What do we
But
have? Okay,
also,
no,
I
it's fine.
think- But also, I think
just about done here.
Just
yeah.
about
Wait,
done.
can we start cursing now? Yeah. Also, what I really like is that we got a little bit later on. We get some maybe like people are being more open about how they feel, and people are
Mhm.
finally maybe revealing or realizing that there are things that they are feeling, and they're comforting and consoling and maybe letting the other person in a little bit. And so I think that that is also a progression of a relationship. And so while at this point in the story, I don't think Yor is aware, she does just want to be the best
Yeah, that's
fake wife she can be.
like I like the slow buildup of their relationship, like on its own. But then when you add someone who's like, oh, I liked him before, and like I would have, like, there's no reason like they wouldn't have developed feelings in the same situation.
Yeah, but yours, and she's her.
Yeah, it's almost
That
like
was
she, you know,
It's
it's almost like she likes the idea of Twilight. She, she does. She really does. She likes the idea of this super spy that, you know, is the best at what he does. But what Yor is bringing out of him is something that he has either because of his job had to suppress or never really feel. She's bringing those things out of him.
Because they have that moment in the house when she hands him the coffee and she's like, oh, he'll never
That
put
was
milk in
awesome.
it. And then he puts milk in it and she's like, what? I thought he drank his coffee black. And he's just like, yeah, I have to do this because my stomach's upset. It's like things that she doesn't even know about him. And it's just like seeing one side of him at work.
Why did he put? There was like a reason he put the milk in. Like,
It's his stomach.
was it her
upset.
cooking?
I think it was something to do with his stomach, but also she thought that Nightfall, I guess is the character's name, thought that he was doing it because he loses himself in every character.
Yeah.
You know, like every little thing is all a part of the play.
Yeah.
But I think it was his like stomach was like the coffee was too. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, he wants decaf. It was also at night.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, they need to switch to decaf. This is getting my stomach, which I agree. Yeah, like having coffee late at night will ruin your whole day.
It's pretty great.
Well, that's for people whose bedtime is before 5 a.m.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
People who don't have just straight up insomnia that you've reworded to being like just a state of mind.
It's
It
a
is
state of
crazy.
hustle.
You're like, no, I just don't want to go to bed at these hours. Like, yeah, it's insomnia.
No, but it's like I guess if I really tried, I could. but
Yeah,
it's
they're like,
just
you can take melatonin to like
No,
treat
and
it.
you
You're like, no,
refuse
because then I won't be up at
No, because then where does it stop?
at bedtime.
But it's like, where does the day end, you know?
That's the thing, and I can't help that I feel most active at night. Dude.
Well, the reason you do
Uh-huh.
is because you then wake up later.
Are we here to diagnose my?
I just wanted
insomnia?
to clear up
Yeah.
that it's definitely insomnia,
Definitely, possibly, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
and you do have
Maybe.
coffee at that hour.
Sometimes, not all the time, dude. I you know, I have an overactive mind. Okay, and I can't help that. It's you know, my mind loves the night,
Much like
Nightfall.
much like Nightfall.
Yeah, but yeah, in the story, you know, it's school stuff, which is great. Sir Elegance is back, and he's kind of doing the sitcom thing of like, and I will be the teacher in this class too. It reminded me of Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney, he's a real Mr. Feeney.
And he just helps the kids out. You know, he sees them having a tough time. He kind of just shoves them along and helps them find their way. And he's just so
yeah.
And
nice.
I like his reasoning, you know, because this is a hoity-toity school, but all his stuff is about like, I want them to learn about this, and I want them to learn about like using what you have with you. And like when he gets like his solo chapter that's just about like him just having a good day, which is like going for a jog, discussing philosophy.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's just
yeah.
like, yeah, what an elegant day. I'm
You know,
like,
it's-
that's who I want to be
that
in
guy's cool.
5
Dude,
years.
and now that you said Mr. Feeney, dude, I love him 10 times more.
oh,
Mr. Feeney's from who?
It's from one of the greatest shows of all
Boy.
time.
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets
yeah, I
World.
never seen it.
Boy Meets World was a young
Boy.
Josh's Doctor Who,
Oh,
if you know
boy.
what I mean. Yeah.
That's a big,
I was obsessed.
completely different.
Do you
show.
mean you just liked the TV show?
Yes.
No,
What are you talking about?
No, I
Then
mean, I
that's
was
not-
obsessed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I didn't just like it, dude. I like watched it.
You became it.
no,
I became it.
I
I
still
became
say Merry Halloween to people,
Nobody
and
gets it.
no one laughs. I'm sure some people get it.
Yeah. Do you
But,
get that
like,
joke?
No one has ever been like, huh.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Let's because Boy Meets World is also a wholesome show too. So let's see some love for the gang in the comments, because Megan, you gotta watch it, dude.
I guess so. Is it really that good? I just think it looks just like a regular gold
Anything
sitcom.
on the surface before you know anything about the world and characters just looks like a regular whatever.
I guess you're
I
right.
mean, what do you?
Will it save my world?
No spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. And they also get like a Shippuden, like a time skip. You know,
There's a
Okay.
spooky Halloween episode.
a great that had,
How many?
How many? What?
Because it went on for a while,
420.
right?
Yeah, it's probably about 19 seasons, maybe.
You're such a liar.
I want to look it up.
Why
but
did I believe that?
it's probably a lot, but I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. But I do want to know how many seasons there are. But so you guys take the lead while I look that up.
Hey, I did also really like the depth Desmond started to get.
Yeah.
There was the concern he was just going to be the tsundere guy,
Mm-hmm.
but now I do like, and that's why I like what Anya does with mind reading.
Mm-hmm.
Is like she gets to see that he's not who he's like presenting himself as, and like
He's just a troubled youth.
it's great, because it's like, oh, he can't communicate the things that he's actually feeling because one, he's also a child, so it's really nice that Anya can she can actually well, he's saying that, but because he's worried about he's like, no, I have to do good on this project because he wants his dad's approval.
Yeah.
And so she gets that,
Yeah. 7 seasons, by the way.
Okay.
which is
yeah.
more than you'd think that show would get.
Yeah, and that's not including the spin-off series Girl Meets World.
You're including that?
No, that's not included.
He
Oh.
specific. I
I meant you're including that in the
I mean-
package deal of Boy Meets World. Like, that's canon technically,
It's like
right?
Boruto.
I know
I mean,
it is like Boruto.
It's like Boruto, basically.
Girl Meets World is like Boruto because the kids.
Boy Meets World is a
and-
lot like Naruto, dude. You have Naruto Shippuden, and you
yeah.
have
So
Boruto.
Boy Meets World. What they should call it is Doctor Who meets Naruto.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's what I've been telling people for years, and now I'm starting to realize why nobody wants to watch it.
Yikes.
Anyway,
Desmond.
Desmond. Yeah, and what I like about him too is another really awesome comedic moment. The art, because you were just talking about the art project that they had to do
Mhm.
together, like that payoff too at the end when the people are walking down, the other teachers are walking down the hall and they notice it, and they put this like really deep meaning on it.
I did.
That
Yeah.
was such a funny moment.
I think that one didn't hit as hard for me because I liked all of it, but I did feel like that
But did you feel like it was like a cop out in a sense?
yeah, they're like, all right, you guys get to Stella, and it just felt like you're always like that's like the only typical joke I feel like the
Well-
story has done.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it would be different if both of them got one.
Yeah,
He
Anya
only
didn't
got
get
one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a group project.
No, it wasn't. It was personal. And then that's why Mr. Elegance was like, "Oh, they're working as a group." That's
I thought
interesting.
they got paired together
I thought they didn't.
because when Damien Desmond, right? When
Damien?
I thought his name was Damien Desmond.
It's Desmond something. Damien is the demon child from that movie.
Okay.
I
Desmond.
thought it was Damien.
Either way,
It's not
I
Damien.
said Damien.
either way, they got
I
paired.
wrote Desmond, but it may have autocorrected.
No,
when I wrote
Desmond
that
is
down.
his name for sure. It's either his first or last name.
Oh.
But anyway, when they got, I remember that moment of them getting paired together when he said like, I don't want anybody to, it was also played for comedy. I don't want anything to ruin this or
Mm.
anybody to get in my way. And he's like, all right, you're paired with Anya. And then he's like,
That's
I knew
right.
it.
You're
Yeah.
right.
It was either
And then she's like, "You can use all my paper."
But I
it was
still
either that
think
or there
that-
was a table and 4 people were randomly assigned to each table and everyone had to use all those things.
and
And the moral was supposed to be about like sharing and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what it was cool about Sir Elegance being like observing them being like, oh, he's being a little selfish there, but she's
Mhm.
giving him that.
Yeah.
And like that's like the real test.
Mm.
A test within a test.
That's
And-
when the real test begins.
Mhm.
But then you find out that wasn't the real test. The real test started before the manga even began. Started in chapter 0.
At the orphanage.
At the orphanage. Started the day she was born. Oh, and also too, we're like a little bit more about like Anya's abilities. How did you feel about that? How did you guys feel about like...
Well, when I read that, I was like, Cody's probably on top of the moon.
I couldn't tell if he was going to like that or if it was going to be something that you were just like, oh, this is like being used. Because here's how I maybe thought Cody was going to react to it. And then
this is an interesting section we can have. How does the voice in Josh's head that I have put in there interpret stories now?
Can you do it like in his voice though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Yeah, do it.
Don't do
This is Cody.
Yeah.
The system that was put in place is only being used as a plot device and not necessarily to expand upon how these power systems within this story work. This is something that will probably never be talked about again unless it's convenient for a story moving forward.
I would.
I like that part.
I'm going to defenstrate you.
What does that mean?
Throw you through a window.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Was I a little close?
Yeah, my thoughts were like, what? I didn't mind it.
You got it.
But it was just like, this has never come up before. And
how convenient.
There's never really a sense of like what month or like, this would be a thing she would think about a lot, I feel.
Yeah, yeah. Or at least always be aware of just in case.
Yeah. I don't mind, like, I like any, okay, so her powers are connected to the moon, sure. And they only had to mention it once earlier for that to, like, really matter. But it's been, like, I'm also unclear on how long they've been at school at this point. So, there's a lot of things that weren't, like, established before for me to be like, like, there could have just been a thing where she was just like, oh, that's why something is.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, but at the same time, like, because Spy Family hasn't really ever been that kind of story, and I don't think is trying to be, it didn't bother me, and I knew it really wasn't going to bother you either.
It's just again, like I didn't have a problem with it. It did not ruin nothing has ruined my enjoyment of this story. Sure, yeah. But it was just like, all right,
I see what you did there.
Okay. All right, just add that in. All right,
yeah.
Again, like it's more than earned the right to do that in as a story for me already.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you did that.
It also kind of feels like maybe they're getting ahead of the reader a little bit, because the readers might start to say, well, why doesn't she just read the minds of people? So it's maybe not even that they wanted to do that necessarily, but that they had to come up with something for the readers to not constantly question why she isn't just reading everybody's mind all the time.
But speaking to my voice inside your head, I do think it's only going to come up when it's plot relevant now.
Yeah.
Like, probably this vacation is going to have happened right when the moon's about to change. Because again, outside of that, there's been no real sense of like, and now this month has started.
Yeah. And I think maybe, maybe who knows, maybe that, opens the door to some other characters having some either handicaps or some, sort of maybe under a different kind of moon, Anya can read twice the amount of minds.
You think
twice the amount of minds?
Such a thing is only possible during the lunar eclipse.
During the harvest eclipse moon. Yeah.
The harvest eclipse moon, the rarest moon of all. That only happens if a spy and assassin fall in love.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait either. Yeah, and we've kind of been really going through it loosely, but I think that's why you're here. You don't need to know every single beat that takes place. But
just the final thing from that segment. I did like the character moment for Damien being like, imagining getting his dad's approval and just being like, yeah, that's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
I just like those little tags everyone says about these things where she's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Nani's like, okay.
Well, she's just reading a guy's mind, thinking about connecting with his dad. She's like, yeah. And she's like, you can have this.
And I think too, they mentioned in the previous volumes that we had read, like his relationship with his brother too, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And we kind of see it again. But there's just so many, like with Damien and like even the new character, what's her name? Nightfall.
Nightfall.
Like I'm just so excited to get, their little moments. Like we had a great chapter with Frankie, and it's just like those little things. Like, of course, I like to see the family unit, like you were saying, but I do like seeing them branch off and do their own thing.
Yeah, Frankie, that bit I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed like just the conclusion
Result.
to it. And it reminded me of that sketch you guys showed me where that guy was like, "Oh, let me help you with your
Yeah.
fish aquarium." She's
snuff
like,
box.
Yeah, my boyfriend really appreciates. He just dropped it. He was like,
Frankie's one of my favorite characters, dude.
Yeah,
he
he's great.
He doesn't get enough time. And maybe that's why I like him so much, just because he's not there all the time, and when he is,
yeah, he's a
it makes me
gadget.
happy.
He's the Q / he's the informant,
He's
which
the
he
Q,
like at
yeah.
one point just yells out, I'm an informant."
yeah. And that's what I like about this series too, is for being a spy series, like it doesn't rely on these like archetypes, you know, like he is technically, like you said, an informant and a Q, but I mean, he never really feels like he's a copy of any other character or like a parody or like a spin. Like he is very much just like Frankie.
Yeah,
and I love it.
He's not the I've invented a new pen and it will do this.
Exactly.
They sort of throw in like some of his inventions for the sake of like a joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like a reminder to be like, oh yeah, he does do that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So where we left off, I guess, in the story was sort of after the art project thing, and then
The moon is relevant because she has to take a big test and she won't be able to cheat.
Yeah, and then she barely.
And I liked Lloyd, like she's reading his mind and she's like, yeah, I kind of gave up on her getting Stella's. And at this point, I'm just trying to not get her
expelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which did lead into a very funny sort of mission that Lloyd had to go on to kind of, he thought, alter Anya's test results.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also, we could kind of meet another character who I love I love that the reason why he was so bad at being a spy and why he was there even in the first place was explained and revealed the way it was.
Mhm.
I thought it was a nice little touch.
Yeah, like I didn't enjoy it that much until you're shown that, and then I enjoyed it more in like retrospect.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Because at first I was worried it was going to be this whole reoccurring bit with this guy.
Me too.
Because I was like, oh, I think this is the only character so far that I've not been on board for.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, that's what happened. That's okay. That's funny, actually.
Yeah. Lloyd, obviously goes in to get the test results and then meets this like poor excuse for a spy who's obsessed with like, Daybreak.
Daybreak he literally named himself after like meeting Twilight, like beating him at his wits or something.
It should have been New Dawn.
Breaking Dawn. Yeah.
Twilight.
He should have called himself Breaking Dawn. Discord watch party, all of the movies.
Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. I'm sorry, I'm done.
But yeah, he
mentioned that they were that part was divided into two separate movies.
Just to be clear, it's not one movie, it's two.
And
we will watch both.
Tell you what, if he comes back, we can call that Breaking Dawn Part 2. No.
But yeah, he's really bad at it and he wants recognition. That's kind of the joke, right? Spies are supposed to live in the shadows and be secretive, and he wants praise, he wants a reputation.
He's like, tell everyone. He's like, what? He's like, tell everyone I want that. And he does that long speech of how much he wants to be noticed. And I thought he was funny.
I thought he was funny too, but it was even funnier when you find out that he was hired by a kid who told his butler to hire a spy with like,
clearly not like Bill. He's like shaking and hold, and he's just like, yes, Master Damien.
Yeah. And he's also telling him like, it wasn't Damien. It was the other, like it was the other kid with the big ass head.
Oh
yeah, the one his family,
Gray Pool or something.
Yeah.
His family got into.
Looked like a South Park character. I feel like that kid.
Grimswald or something.
Yeah. And he's like, he's hire a spy, whatever 3 weeks of allowances he'll pay for. So it was just like that little thing that was
made that scene much funnier.
Yeah.
Is knowing that it was a kid who hired his uncle or butler who is not connected.
Yeah.
And is like, oh yes, I will acquire the best spy.
And that was a whole chapter that was like fun, but also, like it wasn't my favorite. Just him thinking that he wasn't going to be at the school anymore, only for everybody to give him everything in this.
I like that. That was pretty funny.
I liked that slice of life aspect. As I feel like that was like a solid like children story.
Yeah, no, yeah.
The spy he hired, I feel like that's where that part fell flat.
Mhm.
But like seeing him and they're all like they're like, oh, I gave you this and I'm gonna do this, and how it just turned into him. He overreacted to something he didn't really understand.
Yeah, it
and then
was
he
very
goes-
sweet though.
Then he has to go back to school, and they're all just like, I can't believe it. Like, give me all of my stuff back.
Yeah.
I remember the opposite happened to me in school when I was moving,
Really?
and they just stole all my stuff. Because they thought I was moving.
So they stole all your stuff because they thought you were moving, and then when they found out you weren't, did you?
I didn't get anything back.
So that's
Oh,
just
so that you
they
just got robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also our house too. So yeah, or trailer. But yeah, like people broke into the freaking shed and stole paint. We're like, no, we're moving next week, and like, oh. And then they stole my crayons.
We were a little too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a bunch
Well,
of
They
like,
stole
job
Magic
next
Mint.
time.
I never got about it. It was my favorite crayon.
you know, I mean, that does like, you know, you could tell a lot about a thief by the things they steal, and I feel like that should be a proverb.
Yeah, you've had a lot of run-ins with theft.
Well, no, I mean like the fact that maybe Cody's like, you know, trailer didn't have anything valuable in it, but the fact that they went for the crayons and
Well,
the paint.
the
Well, they
crayons
stole,
and
like,
the
it
paint,
was your
and then
neighbor,
also
dude.
the
It
Agent
was-
Venom comic book.
Oh,
and
yeah,
nothing
that
else.
too.
Very
That
odd.
too.
I had
Yeah.
more comic books in my car. They only stole the one I liked the most.
Very weird.
Wait,
It is
that-
weird.
It wasn't
I
like
think
we
they
only
know.
have.
I think it's funny.
If
I think it's fun.
it only
Picking what he
makes
loves the
sense
most.
in a video game inventory system of like we can only fit one comic book into this slot. But
Yeah.
it's like, why didn't you steal Scarlet Spider? But no,
Yeah.
I was in kindergarten, and like you leave your crayons and art supplies there, and like people at my class stole those, and then our garage got robbed separately by our neighbor. We know who did that.
That's so crazy, man. That is so crazy. I mean, just, you know, if you're here, you're here. But I had my weirdest probably like break-in story was when my car got broken into and I had an
They stole your
ashtray.
pee bottles.
No, they
Oh.
left them, but one of them did because I would mark them. One of them did look like a little bit had been
Drinking.
drank.
and he was the thief.
It
was the car
thief.
thief.
I don't know how that happened.
They're like, I don't remember.
I do know how the pee got in the bottle, but I don't know how it got out. But I had a bunch of spare change in like an ashtray compartment, and they ripped out, and I had so many other valuable things, like not to again, like, you know, dive deep into the lore. I'm just gonna say it and move on. But that's when I was living in my car, and all of my valuables were in the trunk. All they took was the ashtray full of change, and they folded up $1 like into an origami shape. And they just like left it in a way that they were just like presenting it to me as some sort of like, I don't know.
I
like,
think they
peace
were going
offering.
to possess your soul.
Mhm.
Oh, it
And
might have
that-
been like a
Because that's honestly
witchcraft thing.
That's
You
a
think so?
solid beginning to a movie. Would
Yeah.
be like you just find an origami like thing.
Yeah, it was $1. It was an origami dollar.
Did you have more than $1 in there?
You know what? That's another crazy thing.
You don't think you did?
It was more than $1, but it wasn't like a significantly like large sum of like. So they might have got away with $3 worth of change, then left me $1. Like they basically like coin starred me.
Maybe they wanted you,
You know?
to change.
Whoa, maybe they love change, and they just didn't want me to change. That's why they took my change from me,
And from that change, you can become a beautiful swan.
and that's what the shape of the dollar was in. How did you know? Did you drink the pee from my car?
Of
Cody?
course. That's
Of course.
I wormed my way into your life,
You are
and
like.
now I'm sarcastically confessing it to you.
Whoa.
I do imagine. I like the idea that there is one person who's like Spy Family podcast on YouTube, and then they come here and they're like, okay, these guys are
Talking
crazy.
about pee.
But I liked. Yeah, it was. It served no purpose in the grand scheme of the story. But in the slice of life aspect of like, yeah, these are children.
Of course.
I thought it was great. I like the punchline being, oh yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, I'm gonna be homeless in a week. Because like reading it, I'm like, you won't. You have your
Yeah,
family.
putting on the street. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
No savings.
I
no-
know, dude.
No,
and,
yeah.
and you guys are entitled to your own like opinions, and I've been dancing around it, dude. And I'm just gonna say it. I just like anything that's not like really like with the whole family. Like it's really hard for me to like get through.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bomb.
Yeah.
Well, let's defuse.
Let's defuse that bomb, dude. Because it's like I love the school, and I like as you guys are talking about that chapter, I get everything that you're saying, and I agree with everything that you're saying, but because I'm really connected to like Lloyd and Yor, like a lot. And so to me, that chapter felt like it was another hurdle for me to get over to get back to, the people who I want to see really make it in this world.
I mean, that's part of it is this story still feels so new to the point where I still don't know what kind of story it is. But also, first of all, his name was Gloomin.
Oh, the guy, the kid, the big head.
He hired that spy to sabotage Damien because he thought Damien's dad bought out his dad's company, and they're gonna be homeless in a week. And then he hired him with like his allowance money, and then the real is no, Damien's dad just like bought out the company because it was failing,
and saved
them, and then. The kids all like took pity on him. They gave him gifts and stuff. Like, we'll be your friends. And he was like, I didn't. Turns out I'm not leaving. And there's like, I want my stuff back.
Yeah,
that was the story. I thought it was for the children, and also Megan. How did you? Because they're trying to explain to Anya about studying, and she's like, I can't study for that test. Well, I have to study for that test because I can't read minds when it happens. And you're like, yeah, you're gonna have to study the whole enchilada. Oh. And then how she interprets that. What does she think? How does she interpret that?
I forgot.
You wrote it down.
Oh, did I?
The macho or the.
What did I say? The Soul Chihuahua.
Yeah,
I was like, what did she say?
Chihuahua.
I love that, and I can really relate to Anya because
I thought you were gonna say you can really relate to being a swole Chihuahua,
which is
that was crazy, dude.
Which is like
the new nickname.
I'll take the swole, yeah. But I'm no Chihuahua.
Now, we've been over our dog Sonas before, but for people who don't, you're a Chihuahua.
No, I'm not.
You're a swole Chihuahua.
You're a swole Chihuahua. I mean, you're not like just a regular Chihuahua.
You're a swole Chihuahua. That's your spirit.
Okay.
Josh is
the more you
Josh
say
is
it,
a
the
golden
more it
retriever.
loses its meaning.
I mean, I don't love it.
I'm a German Shepherd.
You're more like a Doberman. Like a mini Doberman.
No.
Yes.
No.
I wouldn't say a
You can't say a mini something.
Yeah, because there's Dobermans and there's mini Dobermans.
Fine, you're not a swole Chihuahua. You're just a Chihuahua.
Can I be a poodle?
You're not a poodle.
Why not?
You could be a poodle.
I could be a poodle.
They're flamboyant.
Thank you.
Poodles are actually hunting dogs. They're vicious.
They're smart and they're mean.
Can I be a Dalmatian? Oh, Dalmatians are kind of mean too, though, huh?
Yeah, Dalmatians are mean. Poodles are mean. Golden retrievers are not mean.
Okay, I'll be a golden retriever then.
Yeah. This is like you fight me on it, and then you just ultimately you just lead yourselves to the same road.
Because you broke down every other thing I wanted to be, so that I would come crawling back to you.
And here you are,
on
like a dog.
Yeah, like a dog on all fours, just begging for it. Yeah, the swole Chihuahua thing. Are we getting close to? Oh, the steady thing. You were talking about the steady thing. And then
And then how when Gloomin was like, I thought we were gonna be homeless. And the dad was like, what are you talking about? Like that's how that story ended for him.
Yeah.
Was this dad like, what? No.
And there was that like Yuri and Anya study sesh.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm terrible
Me
at
too.
studying. I mean, I gotten better for sure. Like any other subject besides math, like I could pretty much get through and have like a good grade. But I never was ever good at math. Like my parents are just like, you're good at everything else and you don't have to be the best at math because we know you're not. And I'm like, it's like, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
it was
can't grasp it.
On an episode on the main channel or if it was on one of our Patreon episodes, but there's video evidence of me not even being able to add one.
Oh yeah, what was that?
I don't know. That was insane though.
That wasn't.
Oh,
that
it was
not
on
on
the
a
podcast.
Patreon.
It was actually Cody has this like burger spot that he likes to go to.
Oh yeah,
and they changed the price from like
it was a $6 burger box. Yeah. And I was like, it's a $7 burger box.
And I was like, they raised it $2 whole. And Megan and Cody looked at me for like not hyperbolic. This is not me being hyperbolic. It was probably like a solid 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was 20 seconds of us just looking at you, and you still didn't get it. And
didn't
you were like,
get it.
What? And we were like,
yeah,
Josh.
And I was like,
it's
what?
Not $2.
Did I say something funny by accident?
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
Was I just
funny,
so
dude,
funny? Was I just so funny?
Was I just so funny? And I
wow,
didn't even know I'm being so funny.
$6 to $7. What is that? Like $2 more?
The way I reacted, I was like $2 whole.
Yeah, I know. You were so adamant about it, and we thought you were making a joke, honestly. But then we found out it wasn't a joke because your face was just.
You're like, what?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Do you guys not get that $2 is a big deal? Or
Yeah, I really did like, am I overreacting about $2? Like maybe,
Oh my god.
maybe it's not about that. I don't know. So when you say you're bad at math, I mean, you're sitting across the
Yeah.
table from someone who is
you
literally,
couldn't add
yeah.
one number to something.
Yeah.
But I relate to Anya a lot about that. I was like, yes.
My problem was I didn't have to study, and then when I finally did, I was like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea how to study.
It's hard.
It's so
sitting
hard. School
down.
is hard.
Yeah.
Especially like with math, having to be like, I don't care. They're
Yeah.
like, what? Find the triangle. I'm like, who cares about any of this? This doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we've gotten a lot of comments, nice comments from people saying that they like to put, the podcast on while they're studying or while they're,
You go into their
preparing
finals at their fancy college.
their fancy colleges and whatever. And so for them, I'll just say this.
Good for you, by the
Yeah.
way. That wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to be derogatory.
Oh, no.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, who would be like, they insulted me going to college? I feel like such a loser. The joke is
The joke is we didn't.
I dropped out of community college. Josh dropped out of high school.
High school, yeah. Yeah, it's true.
GED,
Yeah,
baby.
GED.
Megan dropped out of her mom 2 months early.
That was solid, dude.
It was a month.
Wow.
Okay, calm down. It was a fucking month. Okay, calm down.
I
That was
didn't
perfectly
know
healthy.
where that was going.
was
dude, but you
perfectly
really
healthy.
brought it home.
That
That was
was-
perfectly healthy.
That's why we're called the dropout gang.
The dropouts. Hell yeah, dude. We gotta. I mean, maybe we
We
change
gotta
the-
what? We gotta what?
We'll
We
change
gotta
the-
change the name of the Patreon podcast to the Dropouts, okay? Wow. Anyway, just gotta really like soak that all in. Yeah, there was a cute like Yuri and Anya study session thing, and
that Yuri, when he was like genuinely teaching her, I started liking him.
but then
Then it keeps, and then he just gets frustrated
and leaves.
Yeah, he leaves. He's like, he's like, so you know grammar now. What's grammar? Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, this is a huge waste of time. Which, considering what he does, it was, because Anya is like, she's not. Well, she studies a lot for someone who's not that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would be like if she kept like not studying, I would get it. But she does it a lot. Like you can see that she's trying.
Yeah, she's trying. She wants to do her best for her family. And I'm a sucker for when an anime or a slice of life or anything will have these like crazy characters and these moments, but then at the end, there's always this like really heartfelt moment. And I really thought that this was going to be Anya and Yuri's like heartfult moment where Yuri was going to be like, oh, maybe I should care more for her because of how much she cares about my sister and how my sister cares for, but he was just like, this kid is stupid and just like left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yor kind of had that moment with
Yeah.
him. She
Just
thought
she-
about it, and he kind of has it too. I mean, not with Anya, but he just says like, "Hey, like I wasn't good at studying, but I became good at studying and working at different things because of my sister."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So.
studied medicine because I want maybe if I could be a doctor. And she's like, oh, is that what? And he does give her like a good speech on the reason to study, which all gets like ruined when she's like, I didn't learn
Yeah.
anything.
We've been doing this for 2 hours.
Which-
and I have no
yeah.
idea what grammar is.
Which as far as him like just storming off, which is like, I mean, he also has a very important job that he has to go to.
Yeah.
And he did teach her how to study. And like she reads his mind because he gave her, and he's like, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing all of this stuff. And
Well,
I'm doing all this super secret stuff to keep the family safe.
And maybe it was funnier now that I'm saying it out loud, but it was that moment of that great advice. And then a couple pages later, it's them like passed out on the floor with all of these materials surrounding them and they're sweating. And he's like looking over at her and he's like, what'd you learn? And she's like, nothing.
Yeah, him being like, all right, like, I mean, who?
Yeah.
He doesn't yell at her, right? Like,
Yeah.
You're like, if this is a real person, like how frustrating that would be. Like he's
Yeah.
not like unemployed.
No, he's got a very important job to do.
Yeah, he took time out to like teach the niece to study, and then she didn't learn anything. She didn't pay attention. He's just like, I have to go.
Yeah.
I would be like, that's fair. She doesn't. It's hard for her to learn. But like, what I liked is she did pick up on like, oh, if I learned English better, I could have like diffused that bomb or something.
Yeah, that's that little callback.
Yeah. So she does like, I do want to study. It's about studying something that's not relevant to the test, which was like, yeah, she's not going to pass this test. But it was nice. Like she did get interested in studying something that, and the problem with it all comes back to the school systems, which is, do they encourage you to study what interests you? Or do they want you to learn how to figure out what a triangle is? And I'm going to tell you, it's about the triangles.
It's always about the
It's always trying to find the X. Well, how about you try to find the spy X family?
How about you try to find the angle?
Those were both pretty good.
Okay, I just feel like I brought it together more with the Find the X thing.
And then Megan, you did kind of like if you would have maybe like waited a
Yeah,
beat,
I just got too excited. I didn't want to forget it.
I get
because
that.
you kind of stepped on a little bit.
I
of the
did.
X
I
thing.
did. I
Now,
did.
granted, that would have been perfect if I didn't have something I was building it up to, which to guess that I didn't based on how I started that.
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Well, I saw you finding it, dude.
I saw you finding it.
I
But
found
you
the.
found.
I found the X.
You solved for X.
I solved for, and there we go. And that's how you more would have. That's how you.
We have chemistry, but we also have geometry. Geometry.
We sure do. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching this episode now.
Can we get to the other? Can we get to the other moment with the? Because I think the other big moment, and not to linger on any like specific story for too long, is the tennis. Well, the introduction of this character, Nightfall.
Yes.
Yeah, just
I don't know,
because.
is that-
Right before Nightfall, there is Take On You to Work Day.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was cute. That was cute.
I liked Anya covered in blood.
Yeah, because
She gets splattered.
she's reading Yours Mind
Yours Mind.
on like teaching
Yeah.
her how to work, and
Yeah.
just her just sitting there with blood all over her. And I would like that to take me actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
I
like
thought that was
dressed up
great.
as Sherlock Holmes and like taking
Yeah,
notes.
so cute.
Yeah.
And she's reading his mind. So every time he's like, you take notes on the weirdest things that I say
Yeah.
because he's actually saying something else. But all of like the employees, they're like, oh, you're so cute. And like treating her like a little kid.
And she's like,
and
"This
she's
is paradise.
She
this is
loves
perfect."
it. She
Yeah.
loves every moment.
And then she like gives that speech about like what work was like, and it's complete. And Lloyd looks at her notebook. This is all just gibber. It's basically just Megan's notebook.
Yeah, he's like even like I'm a top notch like cipher, or I can decrypt any cipher, and this is chicken scratch.
It's just like a sun and like
Yeah.
clouds, and like she's like she wrote out like what she's talking about it in class, and it's like he even punches some of the patients.
Oh, yeah,
like
that was
And
funny.
then he's just like,
Yeah, also-
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Mr. Elegance is like, he does such a great job. And
It
he's like, oh my god.
It just cuts away being like, I just got the worst feeling
Yeah.
Yeah,
for some
yeah.
reason, and then there's just one sentence at the end of the whole story that just Lloyd talked his way out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought like that style of humor I liked, because like you know what he would have done, like, oh no, what she meant by
Yeah.
you don't need to just mention that. Yeah, that didn't actually, that would have ruined the whole thing.
Exactly.
He cleared it up later.
And we'll get more into it later, but also like something about us talking about that made me remember that like Becky also has like a huge crush on Lloyd. She saw a picture of him and she's like obsessed with him.
I love that moment when she's just like, oh, I'm going to talk about my dog because they're talking about dogs.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I dropped this. And she drops it. Her face is all smug. And they're like, yeah, so that game last night. And she's like, oh.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Becky's just like fucking
That's
jacking
your
off to
dad?
it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
We had two
Sorry.
different ways of going about that.
Remember
I
you
like
said
her.
you weren't sus anymore? And now you just got
She's
that
sus,
title
dude.
back.
She's sus.
I mean,
dude.
who
When
wouldn't
they
be?
go-
Who wouldn't be? It's Lloyd. Who wouldn't be?
all
It's
of a
Lloyd.
sudden, all of a sudden, it's not sussy, dude. When they go shopping and they have their little fucking
What?
trip to
No,
the
it's
mall.
about him.
Oh, it's about him, yeah.
When they have their little trip to the mall, and she's like, "How should I dress? Should I dress sexy?"
That was sus.
weird.
I
That was
literally wrote
sus.
sus. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was Sussex Family.
Yeah,
That was
Sussex family.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
good.
I did
That
like
was
the
good.
quote of like, oh, I bet, what was it, Monster Lloyd would look great. Well, I wrote it down.
Yeah, where did they go? Where did they go shopping in? Sussex. That's a real place.
I like it.
Okay, good.
Honest-
That was really good.
That was good. Okay, good.
Sus. It combines the sus and the X.
X, and it's an actual place.
Wow.
Thank you guys.
I did like
That was
yeah.
really good.
And then
but
she just
yeah.
said like, oh, I bet Monster Lloyd would look even great. And I was like, oh, Megan.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, we've already talked about it. Megan would for sure be the first to own a Lloyd or Twilight body pillow.
yeah, of course.
Well, she already
Lloyd
has
on
a
the
Twilight
front.
body pillow.
Lloyd on the front, Twilight on the back.
Right.
Like a mullet, like party
Lloyd
in
on
the
the
front.
Edward on the back.
Work in the front, party in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
The mullet way.
Yeah, the mullet way.
Which
Yeah.
is, it's more of a philosophical statement of how about we all put on fronts.
Mm.
That's what the mullet represents, is how you have to
Mm.
present yourself in one way when in reality you live your own
Wow,
life.
dude.
I want to grow a mullet.
You should. It'd be a
That
little curly
would
too.
be crazy.
It'd be awesome.
I constantly think I should have a mullet, and I'm like, no, that's the trailer park talking.
No, come on, dude. Mullets are making a comeback.
Mullets are in now.
Mullets are super in now.
So you should get on it before it goes away again.
Yeah.
I'll mull it over.
Okay. All right. Can we get to in the Anya Goes to Work Day chapter, we also meet Nightfall for the first time. She's working there too. And Nightfall decides to come over to the Forger house and just start shit. Dude, and I didn't like her coming over when Lloyd and Anya weren't there. She came over just to talk to Yor and used Anya's magnifying glass as an excuse to come over. And then started like really pitting them against each other. And I didn't think, there are certain things that are just off limits, dude. And she started saying like, when Yor was like, yeah, I'm trying to be a better cook or whatever she said. And she's like, oh yeah, he actually talks about that a lot at work.
Yeah.
I was like, you crossed a line.
Yeah, she's talking some shit. She's trying to stir the pot. And yours just so
You're
nice.
trying to stir the pot too. Problem is it just, just no flavor. I don't know.
But we get a moment too later on. Yours like kind of like done. Like she's kind of just like, what if I? And then Anya's like, whoa. She's like, don't. She's like, no, it's not thinking about that. Literally killing someone.
What I did like that you like Anya can see that like, oh yeah, like Nightfall's way of parenting would be like, like she sees it with like, she's like, oh, she wants to be my mommy after Whips, where you're like, yeah. But
whoa.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're projecting, dude.
Yeah.
No. Anyone sees her with like Whips and you're like, yeah.
We're talking Yor.
No.
Nightfall.
There's a scene with her like,
maybe a Yor too though.
well, I mean, for sure. I mean, that's why this has the best women of manga. A lot of whips.
Yeah. And a lot of leather. Yeah.
A lot of quips too.
A lot of quips.
Whips and quips. That's what we should call this.
Wow, dude. So it's between or the dropouts?
Leftovers?
Leftovers? I'm hungry.
It's about leftovers. All right, Josh. Which is one more hour. We'll get to that.
We'll eat, I promise.
But yeah, we meet Nightfall.
Yeah,
and
you do get to see she wouldn't be a good mother.
Yeah,
but
she
also
be a good
Anya
mom.
does have a discipline problem.
She does.
Why I wasn't
she's
completely
independent.
not on board for her, which is like she's not good at studying, and she would have failed this school if Lloyd didn't like manipulate the grades.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean,
Lloyd didn't even manipulate her test though.
I thought he corrected that, and he also fixed Damien's.
No, he saw the test and then realized that, and that's what I really liked about that our chapter was that he realized that he didn't have to. He broke in assuming that he was going to have to.
Oh, I thought he fixed both of them.
He had to fix Damien and Damien's brothers, or Desmond and Desmond's brothers.
Oh, I forgot about Desmond's brother.
Yeah, and she passed.
Barely. She got like 233 or something like that. And even though she passed, she barely passed, but she didn't fail any
and she's like proud of it. She's like, yes, I didn't fail. And he's like, that's not, you still have bad grades. And they're like, let's cook some hamburger steak to celebrate.
But it was this moment of like, maybe you should have a little bit more faith in her.
Yeah,
but also, you're this is impendent on like this mission that has the fate of the world at stake.
Yeah.
So,
So
which
like,
is why,
together.
like, yeah. So Anya would have passed, although on some tests she did cheat. But
yeah.
That does, for Nightfall's defense, she is like, this is a spy mission that you're kind of forgetting that part here.
Yeah.
Which is like, I like that, but it's like, she's not wrong.
No, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
And she does, Anya reads her mind. She goes, I love you. She's just like, you are amazing in her mind. And Anya's like, ooh,
Yeah.
who is this woman?
I like when she hissed at her.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
Which,
and she's playing up the cuteness. She's like, I love you, mommy. And you're just like, where is this coming from?
But I love when Anya does shit like that too. I think that you're right. That's what makes this character so much harder to hate, because she's not wrong. And what happens later on was like very emotional. She admits that when, Lloyd comes home, and she admits that I love the, spy moment where it seems to me, the way I read it, that they're talking, but the way they're moving their mouth as they're talking.
Yeah, which I'm like, I have no idea how they're going to handle that in the
anime.
Yeah, except, they would have to either have subtitles or just have like something like faded in the background with like their actual dialogue or something.
Yeah. And then, they have this moment of her leaving in the rain, and, the rain hiding the fact that she is not just thinking about the mission, that she's not just like concerned about Lloyd or Twilight losing his edge, but she loves him, and
she's crying because she's like he was he likes this, and which I'm like I can empathize with her being like, oh yeah, like all it took was him not being there for the assignment.
Yeah, and she I didn't know whether she really cared about him or not, but like it's apparent later on that she is kind of really this really affected her.
Yeah, she's crying.
Yeah,
she cries a lot.
She cries a lot.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
which is that's so sad.
Yeah, it's sad
because she's of the same age to be suspected for being weird for being single too.
That's true too, I guess, right? But she's a spy, so I think maybe she's protected.
By the agency. And then we get the next chapter, or the next volume starts with the tennis match, which was really fun. I mean, a lot of great movement scenes, a lot of great moments. I almost forgot that it was Twilight and her because of their disguises were so good. And then I was like, oh, that is them. She's calling him darling and are you just in her mind. It's so funny.
Yeah, I like where she's like, oh, I gave us aliases and they're like husband and wife team. And she's like, they all think we're husband and wife.
Oh, they all think that. And, it was a lot of just oh, I don't even know tennis terms.
15 love.
Bogey. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Love.
Could have fooled me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that did they just play that song, All You Need Is Love, before every tennis game?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's all you need, right?
That's all you need.
One love.
All I know about tennis is
hard.
that they say love, that there's a Mario game about it.
Okay.
And Venus and Serena. That's all I know.
The planet and the vampire
famous,
from Skyrim.
Yeah. They're a famous tennis duo.
And they started up quite a racket.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You're absolutely right.
That's right. I also did. I'm sorry, but now every time someone character because there's a part where Lloyd's instructing her on how to be a spy, and she goes yes sir.
Yeah. Yes sir.
Well, see, that's the thing,
That's I just read that in Megan.
That's the thing, Cody has the what the heck, and then Megan has the yes sir, but it's
where's the leftovers?
Where's the beef?
I don't want mine to be about food.
Okay, yours is
a catchphrase. It's
I want a catchphrase. Yeah, I want a catchphrase.
That's
the
good.
saddest.
That's
the saddest catchphrase ever.
I feel like you go okay.
Okay. All right. I feel better. Thank you, Katie. I feel better.
Yours is okay.
Okay. Which, we it's been, the meaning has changed and it's become its own thing, which I think maybe what the heck has too.
And she's trying to impress him. She's she's doing the splits and shit. She's like, are you noticing me? And I was like, tennis, more like menace. Am I right?
Tennis the menace?
Tennis the menace, dude. Yes. The volume 1 punch up. Let me try.
Yes, the volume would
That's
punch
what
up.
I'm talking about.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Let me jump in here now.
Here we go. Dennis the Menace.
And then,
you can just let a bit ride out and you can just let it die when it's done. You're
right. Good call,
you don't have to be like, yes,
oh my
yes,
God.
the volume 1 punch up. Now it's my turn. What do I have to add to this joke?
Or maybe me just saying yes is feeling like I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
In some way.
That was such a great bit we all had.
We
all three of us did that
we
joke.
We would have not gotten there without the three of us.
And then there's a sniper. There's a sniper on them.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was crazy. I mean, it was rubber bullets, but still. And he's like, I prepared for this. I brought, I have a bulletproof vest. And she's like, of course you did. You're Twilight.
I like them mentioning that they can still be lethal.
Yeah.
Like that. What I heard, you're not even supposed to be shot at them directly. They're supposed to be shot at the ground and to bounce up.
Probably.
And that's supposed to take out most of the inertia.
Mm-hmm.
So people getting shot straight is not even how they're supposed to be used.
Inertia. I hardly knew her.
Okay.
All right. Are you looking at me to add something to it?
Add one.
All right. More like Nerf, and maybe instead of a rubber bullet, it's a Nerf gun.
That was good. That was good.
I mean, I was on the spot. One thing I do want to say, about her and her character that this kind of shows us is that she takes her job a little too seriously. She's trying too hard to impress Twilight. So she's like overextending herself. She's like hurting herself. And Twilight has heard from the agency that he should keep an eye on her because she will sort of do anything to prove herself. And that can at times put the mission at risk. And so he kind of like has to rein her back in. But this tennis match, as much as I, kind of expected maybe to not enjoy it, I thought was a lot of fun. These competitions or these matches are heightened by the fact that all these their opponents can use like drugs or equipment or I mean it's like a black market, sort of like underground.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, the siblings, like they're so good. I'm like, yeah, no shit, they're using like fire rocket tennis rackets. Like, of course they're gonna be
with
good.
that turn into like grappling hook
weapons.
Like,
And then I
not just that, but the whole court is like they have the
rigged.
Court that's rigged. The net is rigged.
they're
I'm
being
like,
shot at with.
I could
literally
beat them with all these things at my disposal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the brother team. They're the Bollock brothers.
Kind of hyperbolic if you think about it.
Anabolic steroids.
Anabolic, and I also like
Anya Bollock.
Anya Bollock. I also like to the point of the names. This is where he's Lloyd Forger, but with this family, he is their last name is Phony, right? So
Funny,
very
funny.
I like it. The names are just cool. The names are just nice, and they,
They add
to it.
They add to the world. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to like love it as much as I did, but I really liked it.
And we have that moment between Lloyd and the brother. He's just like, I can't believe you beat me. He's like, you're still young. You still got your whole life ahead of you. Like, you're going to do great things. And he's like, thank you.
Yeah, the sister's like, I don't like tennis.
Yeah, she's like, I like yachts.
Yeah, I like that because they were like pressured into this by their dad, and one guy was like, oh, I guess I do enjoy doing it. I just all the pressure.
Yeah.
And this is like, I don't. Oh, like for the sisters, like, this is my ticket. This is my way out of doing this now.
I finally don't have to do this anymore. And that leads us into sort of the moment that Yor and Nightfall have when they're on their way back from the match. Yor and Anya had been helping Lloyd prepare by playing tennis with him. So they're already playing tennis when they pull up. And of course she does this fucking B-word move where, she was going to let Lloyd, I think she was going to let Lloyd just kind of go. And the moment she saw Yor on the tennis, court, she was like, actually, let me just say hi real quick, like, what you're doing. And then challenged her to a match. And I am very happy with the way that it played out because I didn't know that just because Yor was an assassin, it doesn't mean she's going to be a great tennis player. But especially
she has
after
the strength.
Yeah, but especially after they just, Nightfall and Lloyd had just beaten everybody who was on, a combination of drugs and had every, piece of equipment and could manipulate everything. I thought, I don't know if Yor's going to be able to beat her, but she kicked her ass, and I was very happy to see it. She sliced through the ball.
Yeah, that was so funny. And Anya's like, I hit so many home runs. She doesn't know. Yeah. So cute.
That's the thing with Anya, where she's not like the center. She's just like she's like there, and she just has these little remarks every time.
Yeah. I love it. And I love that Yor was able to do that. And I love that it kind of sent, Nightfall into a little bit of a spiral. Because again, like we know who Yor is and what Yor's capable of, but it's frustrating because Nightfall I understand why she feels the way she feels, but she just doesn't see, she just sees Yor as like this regular ass person. And so part of me just really wants her to know that this ain't just, some regular girl.
This ain't your regular.
Yeah.
This ain't your average girl.
This ain't your average girl. Yeah. No, I know. I was just making sure.
Okay. Oh, like I didn't get that was a pun. I'm like, okay, they like the word your. Let me keep saying that.
Maybe.
And is that the moment when we get
And she drives off crying, by the way.
Yeah, she drives off,
which was like
crying.
I'm like, poor Nightfall.
Poor Nightfall. I mean, what are you gonna do? But then Lloyd is like thinking about taking her out, and then the fucking neighbors are so annoying. They're like, oh, she must be getting cheated on, and he's just like, shut the.
I forgot that's all
they do.
They talk about.
Yeah. They just talk about other
your
people's
husband's
problems.
not here. He's probably cheating on you
right
now.
Oh, poor thing. And then he's just like, okay, I'm gonna take you out, and they go out to a bar. And she starts drinking more because she feels bad. And then she just is so cute. She's just like, you you like her more than me. You want her to be your wife? And he's like, wait, does she have feelings for me?
I feel it.
And I was like, I literally gasped out loud. I was like, is it happening? It's happening. And then no, it
almost happened.
It almost happened.
Which I was confused by because he says like time to enter like spy mode. I've seduced so many women. And
yeah, he does say that.
It does feel like, because I reread that a couple times because I was like, what? Because I thought the whole thing was him like, oh, maybe I should drop any act and like be true. But he says like, no, enter spy mode. And like they show him like enter. I've now become Twilight. What would she want to hear? And then he says like, maybe this could be more. Then I'm like, what did you? Because I feel like the scene how it was supposed to go was he's like, oh, I do actually like love you, but like the way it was worded and the way it showed him, like he specifically mentions like, oh, I know how to go about this.
Yeah, I mean maybe that was him, just kind of doing whatever. Like falling back on an old habit, maybe the scariest thing about being Twilight is, not knowing who he is without being Twilight. Because I kept reading. I don't know if it said like, no, I can't like do that. I have to let that persona go. Well, that's what I mean. Like maybe he doesn't know how to maybe he doesn't know who he is outside of this persona, outside of being the spy.
He's just doing it what's comfortable and what he's like, yeah, because that's why he's kind of like thrown off guard. He's just like, wait, does she? And then he's just like, okay, well, actually, would you want to be my real? And then we get a hit to the face.
She kicks him in the...
And then he becomes a Balchinian. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which, he like recovers from, does like a backflip.
That was cool.
That was very nice.
Yeah, everyone's clapping and he's just like, oh, well, I guess I was completely wrong on that.
Yeah, and a little note of like, oh, they were right there.
They were right there!
And the reason she kicked was out of like shock.
Yeah.
Oh, he's holding my hand.
Reaction.
And he did kind of, well, was it before this? Or no. It was a little after this where they went to like the park, right? And
yeah.
Yeah, because she knocked him out.
Yeah.
And
he's like, sloppy, I've never done that. I haven't done that in years. And she's like, hi. And she's still drunk and she's just like,
But there was that in the park, there was that moment where, Lloyd started to open up about like his mother a little bit. And that's what I love about this series again, is that like we're given any little insight that we're given into like who he was before Twilight or whatever. It's I don't know. It feels very meaningful.
Yeah, you forget he was orphaned by war.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And really that there's, a lot of people are suffering the consequences of war. And, that's like going all the way back to the hospital chapter. Like that is kind of what he's, why he decided to be a doctor outside of being able to be in this place where important people go to get intel and stuff like that. But like he's helping people who are,
he's specifically a psyche.
Yeah.
I think for children, because all this stuff is for like, there's a sandbox to play with.
Yeah. And I believe that he has his like spy reason for doing it, but I think he also has his family reason for doing it.
Excellent.
Excellent. Sir, excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah. After
I like that. Yeah.
Keep doing that, guys.
Yeah.
We all did it. We all did
it.
And I did like too that Frankie is just like a genuinely good babysitter.
Oh my god. And he's just like, I'm not your babysitter. Here's some cash. You want to go to the park?
Yeah, he's like, I hate doing this. Who wants to go play? But like it's not fake. He's just like, I don't, which I get, right? Now you and me have been in a position of having to watch after a child that is not ours.
Yes.
And you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'm not gonna be a jerk.
You can't be.
Yeah.
And me and you have also been, kids who people have been jerks to us.
That would probably, because I had like a very hard, like I'm never gonna raise my voice. So I'm like, oh, that's why.
That's where that comes from.
Yeah,
because I want to repeat history.
Yeah, because the mom would yell all the time, and I would always be like, no, it's. I will yell about anything, famously. But I'd be like, no, it's like I would just like sit there while he like cries and be like, okay, do you want to do your homework now?
Yeah, and it's like little things like you're like, Yeah. You might not think that this is an important thing, but this is a very important thing.
And that's why
That's everything.
That's why I
yeah.
don't want to
Core
have to
memories.
Exactly.
like take charge of a child, because like, well, everything here matters, and I don't want the pressure of like
100%.
I have to nail everything, because every little thing can be like, yeah, 20 years ago, this fucking guy.
Yeah. If my childhood was any indicator, then they will hold on to this for years.
Yeah.
So
it's like
yeah.
You don't
A lot of
want
pressure
to do it, but if you have to, you're like, which just feeds into not wanting to do it, because you're like, I have to be on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's what Frankie really shows here.
Yeah.
In that,
Yeah.
and probably what was just a little bit.
No, yeah, and like I said, I love Frankie, and I love him and Anya together. I think they're
He's like, he plays with her, like he plays pretend. He's like, oh, I made this pen for you. You can try
Yeah.
this. We're gonna go to a park. He's not like, we're just gonna watch a movie. But he's like, I don't want to do this. But he's like,
yeah.
a great guy.
Well, that's like back to that bonus story where they were like spying on Yor and Lloyd. I mean, he acts like he doesn't want to do it, but he is game. At the end of the day, like he is willing to play, and be silly with her and go on these adventures with her. Let's try to get through whatever we got to get through.
They get back drunk and Yor forgot everything. And
Yeah,
then
This is the second time this
that
has
was
happened.
another bit where they just go like, so Lloyd just explained that whole thing. They had that conversation again.
And
Yeah.
then that's when we get Becky, that nice couple
The fashion
show. She wants Damien and Anya. She wants them to be together, so they're trying on clothes, going shopping. She's like super rich, so there's they have a driver and
little
the whole
Becky backstory.
Little Becky backstory. I loved it. I really
Yeah,
loved
where
it. It
she's
was
like,
so cute.
They're all brats. I don't want to hang out with them.
Mhm.
And then like seeing her be like, I met a really nice girl. She's so interesting.
Yeah, and we see
Yeah.
that through the driver's eyes, who's like seen her grow up and like be so jaded just based off of like her position and her, money. And they go out shopping, and then Anya buys her like a keychain, not like anything crazy, but they just have matching ones. That means so much to her as like her first like real friend. And
Yeah.
the driver's just like, I'm proud of you, mistress. And it's just so sweet.
It was
And then they go to school and they're wearing them together.
A little bit too that I like that's recurring for Anya now is every time she interacts with Damien, they have like that tsundere relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But she'll be like, I guess it's time to whip out and then like Becky will be like, don't hit him.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah, you're gonna
like,
get expelled again. Calm down.
Every now and then she'll just be like, all right, it's time to like, she really just goes like, all right, I'm gonna punch him. And Becky
Yeah.
goes, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, she's got, the best trainer, dude. Yours taught her how to be.
I like, because that's a little example of this writing, which is like, she didn't learn how to fight for the sake of that one instance of her punching. It's brought up constantly that she's like, I could just knock him out.
Yeah. Yeah. I also thought that the Becky backstory was very cute, and didn't really expect it, didn't really see it coming. But it was nice to see her. And of course, that whole chapter was like either reverse engineered for just that cute Anya page of her and all the outfits.
It's some pages sort of like, this is so you can make a sticker.
It does feel like that sometimes, and it's not in a bad way.
No,
I love
I'm
it.
like, that would be a great sticker.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy
Amazing.
that sticker
Yeah.
if I see that.
Oh,
sticker.
by the way, the covers for the chapters, like those little,
Amazing.
some of the best ones in any
Yeah.
like manga, especially because it's like, you're like, oh, like when you finish that chapter, you're like, oh, like that perfectly incorporates the themes of it.
So cute.
Yeah.
Like where they're all playing cards, like so she's the Joker, like
Or even when it's not, when they're just hanging out on a bench or talking, like it just is so sweet. Like it's just so wholesome. Like
I love that about it.
so wholesome.
yeah, I think this, as far as I know, these covers do the best job, like really capturing the energy.
Yeah, the energy
of the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so sweet.
It's like
but,
Dan did, and I feel like it doesn't really, except for volume 1. After that, it doesn't feel like the covers really capture the spirit of it to me.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
spirits.
The
The
spirits.
spirits.
It covers more of the aliens, I think, less of the spirits.
I mean, I agree with what you want, what
Yeah,
you
I
were
know.
doing, but
I
I
regretted it the moment it came out of my mouth.
It's just I disagree
see
because
it.
it doesn't capture the
I
aliens.
know. She's wearing an alien
Earring,
earring,
which is like,
yeah,
if you're like, oh no, because it's about aliens.
yeah.
That's why, because otherwise they're great. They look great, but it is just pictures of the characters just sitting there in like clothes and stuff, and you're like,
Yeah, ultimately, I do think that that's probably going to benefit them. I think they're going to maybe be able to sell more volumes that way. But I do see what you're saying. I mean, I do think they could have maybe incorporated or tried to incorporate a little bit more of like story elements onto the cover.
Well, maybe that's the vibe, you know, because you never know what you're gonna get with Dan to Dan, and when you
That's
open it up, you're like, what?
Yeah, yeah. I completely agree with that.
I disagree.
Well, I completely agree.
Well,
Well, here we are.
I completely disagree.
Take us away, Megan.
Okay,
Where
yeah,
do we leave
so
off?
this is pretty much when Damien is like trying to call his dad, trying to talk to him because he wants to tell him that he has an Estella and he's super proud of it and he never sees his dad. He's like, well, maybe next time, you know, he's a busy man. Okay, whatever. And then we get that moment when, you know, Anya's like following him around and like stalking him just because she can hear Lloyd literally in the background being like, they're not getting along. I might have to move to plan B. And she's like, wait, no, I can do it. I swear. And she's
And Becky
following.
being like, you have such a crush.
Yeah, you have such
Yeah,
a crush on
I forgot
him.
about that. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
noticing Anya be a certain way and thinks that it's because she's in love with
Which
this guy.
Damien definitely has a crush on.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
And didn't Anya, like, in the volumes that we had read previously, like, didn't she, like, read his mind about something? Like, he had thought something about her, and she, like, read his mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
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 Something like that.
It's the act though. You should just have an emergency, like you should just like cat ears that you can pull out.
That would be cool.
Or maybe-
Just put them on, like yeah.
Maybe if we can extend... Maybe if we can extend some from the ceiling, like we have them on some sort of pulley system.
Oh, and it's like it's like
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, look! Oh, it's animated.
You think
There's like
that-
an animated little like.
There's not an animated
There's like-
one.
oh my
You
God,
know what
that's-
is also crazy is I would rather screw something into that wall and assemble a pulley system than I would animate something right now.
oh my god! It's a dancing cat behind Megan.
Oh, Megan is dancing and is doing a cat pose. So technically, yeah.
well, maybe show her dancing.
Okay, this is enough of this
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on here.
What bit? That's just you. I just say the word.
That's true. That's true.
I just stressed that you said yeah, and you started doing cat dances.
And then you started talking about, you know, a cat animation and
Yeah.
Anyway, we finally, you know, Lloyd if Anya's like, I'm gonna follow him, falls asleep, and they're like, okay, she wasn't serious about this at all.
Yeah.
And then she like drops one of her charms, or no. Yeah, she drops one of her charms and he makes another one and he uses that as an excuse to talk to Damien and be like, oh, I'm so sorry for my daughter for punching you, you know, blah, blah. And he knows that the dad's going to be there. So he's kind of like in the mix and he's meeting him as Lloyd. And then here comes the dad and just like, hey, and they have a good conversation about being a parent and how that works into their lives. And the dad's like, nah, it's okay.
yeah.
Whatever you did, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like this was the only scene it felt like Lloyd was bombing.
Oh, yeah, he was bombing.
Because he's like, yeah, my deepest, sincerest apologies for my daughter. Strike. He's like, I don't care. He's
Bombing, or maybe his like charms weren't working.
They weren't
Yes.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his
the
charms
guy-
were bombing.
Yeah,
the
his charms were bombing, and maybe it's because, you know, I mean, this guy, Damien's dad, is obviously in a position of power, and he can't necessarily be letting himself fall for just, you know, the charms of any man.
And because also it really did feel like, wow, this is very obvious that this is someone trying to suck up to this guy, though.
Mhm.
yeah, and I bet he gets that a lot. Too,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the only I was like, Lloyd, you should know better than this. Where he's just like, yeah, again, my deepest apologies if you want to hang out and be friends. He didn't say that, but it
But
had
it
he
that
was
feel he
along
came
the
on too
line.
strong.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's saying paragraphs about how hard it is to be a parent, and it's just like, well, this is the most distant father ever.
And you'd think that'd be in his folder. Yeah.
His Folgers.
the best part of waking up
His
folders in
Folgers.
your
Folgers in your
cup. Okay.
And yeah, pretty much then he tells him, I got the Estella, Dad, aren't you proud of me? He goes, yeah, I'm proud that you're trying to do this for our family.
Keep it up, kid.
But yeah, keep it up, kid. And that means so much to Damien. Damien's like, yes.
Which is just like, oh, this is very sad.
It is very
Well, it's
sad.
very relatable. Yeah. Which made me, I mean, we're already kind of like, you know, not super pressed for time, but it did just kind of remind me of Cody's mom coming to visit.
Oh, yeah. He's
But it's only
like,
because
why
I
would you
relate-
bring that up?
It's only because I relate so much to it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, in my relationship with and I think people have similar relationships with their parents where, you know, they can be being very excited about something and trying to share it with them and them just going like, that's cool. But anyway, you remember Stacy?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Like, Yeah.
She's a veterinarian now.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I
you
still
don't remember?
know.
Is your cousin's best friend when you were children? She just got married. I'm like, oh, I'm doing a podcast. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And it's physically impossible for you to convey that information to me.
Yeah, and my mom will also take it a step further where we'll be talking, and I'll tell her something that I'm proud of. And I love my mom. My mom is great, but it's just, I think I'm talking about what's happening in my world, and she's just talking about what's happening in her world, and they're kind of just two completely different things. And so I'll say something, and then she'll like, if I don't remember this, like, let's just keep using the name Stacy. If I don't remember Stacy, she'll be like, no, Stacy, like, remember she used to babysit you? And used to go to her house all the time.
So how many times do you go like, yeah, oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I do that. But there's sometimes where I'll be like, oh, Stacy, I remember Stacy. Yeah, how is she? Oh, she has cancer now. And she does that like a lot. So it's always like a minefield. You gotta navigate. So maybe it is better to just pretend that I remember, or just move it right along. I don't feel like everybody has those kind of relationships with their parents.
Yeah, my mom, very sweet. She just doesn't understand what anything is ever.
But that's the thing. When we've talked about it, it's like, she cares.
Yeah.
About you, but
I'm just like, so it's on like YouTube. She's like, oh, is that like where people watch videos? I'm like, you can't be this detached. You have to know it. She's like, I just work and I go home. I watch a movie maybe.
Yeah.
She lives in Idaho.
Yeah. Anyway,
Parents own a farm.
She has an interesting life, your mom. And maybe on a Patreon episode, we can really get into the nitty-gritty.
We don't have to.
Only because I think there were some really funny stories about her visiting. But anyway, yeah. So they have that moment, yes, and we kind of knew. I mean, because we'd seen Anya and had an insight into like Damien's relationship, that we kind of knew that this was probably how this was going to be.
Yeah, how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And then we find out that like Damien lives in the dorms with his two other friends. He doesn't even live at home.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And he is just overworking. He's just like, I got to study. I got to be better for my dad. I want him to recognize that this still is not enough, blah, blah. And his friends are like, come hang out with us. And he's like, no, I gotta work. And even Sir Elegance is like seeing him like go through this. And then we have like some nice, couple chapters of, or like panels of like a teacher taking them out, and it's supposed to be punishment, but it's not punishment because they're doing like fun things like canoeing and fishing and camping. And
yeah, there was the nice scene where like he's doing like cleanup duty. And they purposely get in trouble, so they have to do it with him too. And they're just like, "We're gonna hang out." It is nice that like they're just, it's so easy for them to be the goons.
Yeah,
they say like, "Hey, boss," but they are just like good friends.
Because he's really not a bad kid.
Yeah.
Like we forget, like in the beginning, you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be the villain," but he's just not. He's just a troubled little boy who has a distant father.
His friends it's the big guy and then the slim guy, the classic goon characters. And there's just a part I like where they're like making fun of Anya or something.
Yeah.
And then like the slim guy just goes like, yeah, I bet she doesn't even study that much. And no one reacts to it. I just like that you just see him just bomb. But like his insult is just not even, he's not even good at insulting them.
Yeah.
Or he's like, yeah, I bet she doesn't study.
And everybody's like,
I should have let you have that one.
It's fine.
I'm
It's just the only thing he has.
Yeah,
It's all I have.
I'm literally sorry.
It's the only thing.
Can you want to do it again?
Yes, sir.
Take two. What the heck?
Then we just
the doggy.
Yeah.
The dog bond.
We just
Bond.
get nothing more elegant
Dog
than a
bond.
youthful friendship, and then we get a whole cup dog bond.
Yeah.
Dog bonds.
Bond. Dog bond.
A bond, and Lloyd and Bond form more of a bond.
Yeah. You could say that.
He receives a vision of his own death. This dog. Because I forgot. Oh, yeah, he can see the future. That has not come up in a while.
In a long time.
Yeah.
In a Lloyd time.
In a Lloyd time.
Oh.
Megan?
I couldn't forge this chapter if I tried.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Bond is everything. He's
I do
so
love
adorable.
Bond,
This all starts because he sees his death, and then also he wants dinner. He's hungry.
He sees his death, and I think he assumes it's from yours cooking.
Yeah.
She's you were at a dog food. Lloyd usually brings it, but he's going to be home late, so I'll just make something. He's like,
It's like, yeah.
He receives the visions of his death. Like it's probably her. Which I would have liked to find out what happened. They never said it exactly because I also didn't know. I was starting to think that he was just gonna get so hungry he was just gonna lay there, and then people were like, "Oh, is he dead?" And then that turned out to be the vision he got, or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's had visions of death in the past before too, and then with Lloyd, like he saw a future where Lloyd died, and so any future he sees could end up just being played for comedy, or could change, or it's not written in stone, I guess. And that's what I feel like.
Written in bone.
Written in bone, you son of a bitch.
That was good.
You're right. I don't always have
son
to.
of a bitch.
I don't always have to add. You're
Oh
right,
my
you're right.
God.
Let me learn. I wish there was more Bond though, because Bond has taken a back seat. You know, he had such a cool intro, and then all 3 of these volumes, like it wasn't really until this. I mean, he's always kind of been there in the background and have like a couple moments with Anya, a couple moments here and there, but like there was that scene where he Anya wanted him to show her the like answers to the test, and he showed her what like Lloyd was making for dinner that night.
Yeah.
These like small things in the background, but like he hasn't really been the center of attention in a long time. So it was nice to see him finally get a little shine.
He's like, I need to have Lloyd get me some food, or I'm going to die from yours cooking.
Yeah.
And it's not a mystery, because she's like, yeah, Lloyd wrote a list of all the things you can't eat. And you can be like, you can put the pieces together. She probably got, I picked from the list of things you can't eat, and I put it in there or something.
Yeah. And I think, was the Bond chapter, or this, was it kind of toward, this was kind of towards,
this was right before the hook for like what you can assume will be the arc.
Yeah. But one last thing.
Anya's arc. Like Noah's ark.
Two of a kind. I'm not.
Spy and family.
Two of a kind, spy and family. Yeah. You know, guys watching and listening, I'm gonna try to just hear things. I'm gonna try to just laugh and be a part of the fun. No, not be a part of it, but just be a part of it by being there. Yeah.
Sometimes there's nothing wrong with wanting to add to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's too much.
You don't have to.
Okay, and I loud and clear.
If you got something, do it.
Right.
That's it. That's
the thing. 90% of the time, I got nothing. But yes, the hook. Well, we assume what the next arc's gonna be.
Before we part?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Because Bond was like, I gotta go find Lloyd to make me dinner. Lloyd is like mid mission.
Yeah.
And they have a very like Nessie situation. Was it Leslie?
Lassie.
Leslie? What's that?
Lassie.
Where Lloyd's just like, what? Do you want revenge on these people? Because
they
these are the people that experimented on you, and that's why you want to help me on this?
Which would be awesome.
And like, the dog, he goes like, wolf. Like he you can see the dog be like, as far as like, no, I just want you to make me dinner. But Lloyd like creates this whole backstory for him.
Yeah.
Which is like, he doesn't know the dog can see the. So Lloyd just looks like a crazy person if you don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you must want to help me get revenge on these people, don't you, boy?
Well, I mean, he does know that he was taken captive and that he was sort of abused, but I want them to just know. How long do you think it's going to take for them to I mean, I don't know.
Well, because the only one who knows that is Anya.
Anya knows all the info. Yeah, Anya knows all.
The only thing she doesn't know is herself.
Well, she's a kid, dude. She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing her.
I'm just kidding.
And maybe she'll make some friends along the way.
Yeah. And then we get the Yuri bit. We don't have to go into detail with it because he just arrests this guy who was taking photos and making articles about fake information. And that's pretty much it.
Kind of felt completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
the only thing that was nice was seeing him outside of like, I love my sister.
Yeah.
Well, that, and it also does kind of feel like, hey, Yuri's still here.
Yeah, that's what it was kind of. And then we get the arc at the end of the beginning of this. We're going on a cruise.
Yeah, Yor is being assigned a mission to save someone from assassins on a cruise ship, and then Anya uses her telepathy to get from a scam tickets to the very same cruise ship.
Yeah.
Which Yor's employers also gave her the alias of like, oh, we'll just say like your job has you working there anyway. Yeah. Which was like the biggest example, like the biggest of like, what are the odds?
I can't tell you how excited I am to see them in this new setting, in this new location. But I can only imagine how excited Megan was because of a little movie called Hotel Transylvania 3.
We gotta watch it.
Where they also go on a cruise, and the entire plot of the third movie, and just to fill everybody in at home, not only did Megan make me and Cody watch.
Okay, don't say make.
Well, you did it.
Well, we not only did we all watch the Twilight movies, but we also have currently sat through 2 Hotel Transylvania.
And for the first one, Megan had to take a phone call. So she wasn't even there for it.
Listen, okay, I wanted you guys to enjoy it. The second one was better than the first one, was it not?
I mean...
Cody, you were
Better.
busting up. You were busting up. I saw you. Why
Busting-
are you trying to act like you're not?
I was busting, but I
You-
wasn't busting up.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, because
that's-
a goth main character,
Okay.
a goth girl main character.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not saying I don't get it, but I did see him laugh a couple times. I did see you laugh a couple times.
Yeah. Like, was it like from like that was so good? It wasn't like I wasn't laughing on the level of Spy X Family. A lot of it was like, wow, they're making that joke.
I felt that a little bit. I wasn't gonna say it because I didn't want to. Because like,
Do you understand why I like it?
I believe it's a movie for you.
Okay.
I didn't want to crush, Megan's sort of idea of what the night was and like what your busting up was. But I did feel Cody going like, wow, like the fact that they made that joke and that people like this was funny to him.
Yeah, you get me.
I do.
We have our bag. You get me though.
But I wasn't gonna ever bring that up.
I mean, you thought I was laughing at the joke itself. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was laughing that someone was like, yeah. I can't wait till the third one comes out.
And there will be a 4th.
And there will be a fifth.
And there probably will be a 5th. But my point is, Megan, we're almost done. Hold the tears back until after the podcast.
Yeah.
But how excited were you to see that? Because I know how much you love.
I mean, I know how much you like the triangle, so...
I do.
Josh showed us a movie about a spooky triangle.
It's called Triangle.
It does this thing, and it's not anyone's fault.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, I get it not being an issue, but when it's a movie that involves a boat, and the boat is named the movie title, it pisses me off.
I get it.
I don't know what it is, but I'm like, you don't get it. No, that's cheating.
I get it. Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
It feels lazy.
A little on the bow.
Oh.
A little on the bow.
I don't know. What's the back part of the boat?
The
bow. The buggy.
But I bet Cody's favorite part about any boat is the deck. Yeah.
And you're damn right.
You're damn right.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see, the hijinks that ensues, how well she's going to be able to do her job with her family on board. And, I mean, Lloyd's got the day off, so I don't know what he's going to be doing. Something will go on.
Did they find
will
a way to
happen.
get the dog there?
I didn't see the dog.
I'm sure they will.
If they don't, what I'm thinking now is Yuri is going to get involved. He probably, whatever he was doing was involved with that. And he's going to like go there. The dog's going to like find a way to like, Yuri and the dog, I think that's the only dynamic we haven't seen yet.
Maybe he has to house sit, maybe?
Oh!
Yeah.
Maybe that would be Frankie too, though.
Frankie and
Bond and Yuri?
Dang, that's a trio.
That would be crazy.
That's a trio. I know we didn't even really like talk about Frankie's whole
I thought we were going to
couple
say that
panels.
for the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can save it for the end.
Well, I mean, like at the end of like the discussion, like as far as like, it's a bonus chapter, and then it goes in the bonus section.
Mm-hmm.
But to finish here, I'm probably. I mean, again, I'm also just like a sucker for like I do like the change of location, the change of dynamic. I'm a sucker for like a vacation episode or a when the old sitcoms when they'd go to like Disneyland for an episode, which they did in Boy Meets World.
Oh,
and it was fantastic. Corey confesses love to Topanga.
Was it on Disney Channel?
Yeah, it was on Disney, and
That
then it got
makes
too
sense.
adult for Disney, and then they had to take it to ABC, I think.
Mm.
But I'm a sucker for like when they will go on a cruise or like when the Brady Bunch went to the Hawaii or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm a sucker for it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see how their dynamic is in this new setting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably more excited to continue it now than ever, I would say. You guys?
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see
Cody?
Anya.
Yeah, I
Just-
mean,
In her little like vacation outfits. Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to buffets and stuff,
Doing
reading
all the
people's
cruise stuff?
minds, being
Yeah.
like, what people don't know is there's actually an even cooler party happening in this series. Like, I'm going to go to that party. Yeah, we kind of ended right before the end of, because how it's worked so far is there's a bunch of like short stories and then the big story at the end.
Which some of these stories, like I enjoy them. They're bonus chapters, I guess, technically, right? Or
they're called bonus, but they feel like part of the world.
Yeah, if you read them, because I read it on like the Viz app, and they'll be called like 26.1.
Yeah,
or like 20 whatever
99.9%
of your all
was Mob Psych.
Yeah.
Mob Psych.
I said I was gonna stop, but I just can't.
No, I saw you like in pain.
It hurts.
Like
it hurts.
Like, someone free me from this.
Yeah, it really does feel that way. Like I need to be free.
99.9% of everything you have.
But
now's
these
your moment.
chapters
Now's
are
your
so
moment.
fun.
Do your catchphrase.
Okay.
You can't even do your catchphrase.
I know.
You can't even do your catchphrases.
But let's power through it because we're almost at 2 hours.
There's the little bonus story involving Frank, which was nice. You get to see him trying to save a cat because he wants to talk to he likes the
shopkeeper, barista, and he does all these things for her. And then Yor and him are working together.
Up. Yeah, because Lloyd was like, "No, I'm not helping you."
Yeah. And I would, these are characters that are strong enough that if there's ever a spinoff, Frankie, I think could carry his
story about Frankie trying to find love and like having the shenanigans be like, that barista just lost her cat. If I help her, that'll be a good excuse for us to talk. And then she's like, I'm engaged. And he's like, okay, well.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. I was like, oh, and he goes, okay.
Well,
I wish you the best.
And it's not the first time that this has happened to him either.
No.
There was another time when they were like him and Lloyd or Twilight were in a coffee shop and they had like a similar interaction. And you're just like, my guy, Frankie can't catch a break.
Hey, maybe
no, he's the best character.
Maybe Nightfall and
Frankie.
Something
if that happened, I will be giddy. And I'll be like, yeah.
I would feel the same way. But something maybe makes me feel like it's gonna be Nightfall and Yuri. Maybe they're gonna try to do something there. Because they both take their jobs like a little too seriously. They both like, Yuri's like really obsessed with Yor. And Nightfall's
kind of obsessed with Yor too and taking her down. Yeah,
but that's it. Yeah, Yuri he loves his sister. Nightfall loves Lloyd.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like I was wondering like, does Yuri get like her like romantic rival for Lloyd? And it's her brother.
And Twilight is they're very similar. Nightfall and Twilight, like her
it's like
spy.
It's like night and day.
That was great.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I had to get that. How are they similar?
They're like night and day. Yeah.
No, I mean, you really said it all, Cody. You really said it all. No, but I do see what you're saying. I do feel like
they're both intense and passionate, and I bet Yuri would be into like whips and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Yuri for sure. He tortures people for a living.
Oh.
So it's actually not even far off.
No, it's like canon.
Yeah, I would like a spin-off of them and they're just like
there's sex the whole time.
Yeah, sure, spin-off.
Yeah, I'd like a reverse spin-off of them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Anyway, we got we were a little all over the place towards the back half of the episode, but that's how it goes. We have fun. We have fun talking about the things we love. We hope that you have fun listening to us talk about the things that we love. Is there anything you want to say about like just these volumes as a whole, how you felt about everything?
I mean, it was really fun jumping back into it. I did miss it, and I just realized like how it is deserving of an anime this early in because it is so amazing. And I am very excited to keep reading. I don't know how much of the anime will be covered. I mean, how much of the manga will be covered in the anime because it is only 8 volumes, really. But I'm excited. I want to collect all of them too because the covers are so awesome. The color, like, it's amazing.
Yeah, you can get a Bond figurine and it just has like a little Anya thing that you like.
Would love it. People are making their own.
Oh,
out of clay.
People are like, and we talked about it. I think in the trailer video, like an Anya Nendroid. But also, by the way, this is a side note. I know we have a lot of people who listen to our show that love Chainsaw Man and are excited about the Chainsaw Man Power Nendroid and stuff. They're like, if you didn't pre-order it already, they're already like going for double the amount.
Damn, you know what? Because I'm like, I don't want an android. I want a actual proportioned character.
Mm-hmm.
I keep forgetting that people will pay extra for these things, and like because I have no connection to it, I could just resell it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially if you get in
reselling it.
early on something like when they. And I guess Nendroid comes out first before other things.
Yep.
So they'll make one for Dan. So I'll buy a Dan Nendroid and I'll sell it for twice as much.
They're already like, it's already to a point now. I've mentioned like I'm for sure gonna get one, and I just didn't pre-order it, thinking that as soon as they came out, I would be able to get one for market. It's like original retail price, but people are already selling it for twice the price. And
Okay.
yeah,
I'll start doing that with Nendroids because like I just want my guy. I don't want him to be cute.
but yeah, and another thing too, just to say about that merch too, is that I would love some Spy Family figures or stickers or merch. And now that the anime is coming out, of course, it's going to be everywhere. It is so deserving of it. And yeah, Cody, do you have any final thoughts? Any last words? Anything you want to say about?
No, I like this this feeling of like finding out about a series like when it first comes out, and then like not even that long later it gets an anime.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, like I'm not done with it yet. That's weird that it's already like it's cool that it's already getting adapted.
and to think that like the trailer came out recently. How long had they been working on it before they released anything? I mean, I imagine there would have only been 3 volumes out at the time.
Yeah, so like they have to. Yeah, so there's people that are out there like. That's the ticket right there.
Yeah.
They're probably watching for maybe people who do reviews on like new series.
Maybe.
And then they're like, well, if they liked it,
So, and if those people are watching,
Yeah, if
Then-
they like watching.
if they're watching, then, I think, I think maybe a Dan anime would be pretty cool. And I think a lot of people would like that.
Yeah,
I bet
that'd
if,
be really cool.
I bet they would like a Kuro anime.
I'll bet that'd be the ticket.
I mean, you made one about the other thing.
About what other thing?
Shadow House.
Oh yeah. Why?
I still like, what the heck?
Why? I mean, why? I mean, if it's the same creator, similar art style, like why that one over the other?
I don't know.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Maybe make a Witch Hat
Okay.
Atelier anime too.
That's probably in the works.
In the
It's probably-
Cloverworks. Thank you for watching another episode. Yeah, we love it. We want to do more. We want to talk more about Spy Family. We want to do another continuation of the volumes that are currently out and the volumes that come out from this point on. Of course, like we're trying a lot of new things, and especially like I think a beta version of kind of like what other types of content we will be doing. Like will be when the Chainsaw anime comes out. We'll be able to do more reactions to each episode, and we'll probably be able to do those for Spy Family as well. Anything really, I feel like the cool thing now that we've been doing this for the amount of time we've been doing it is that whenever we cover something that does get an anime announced or released, I feel like we I don't know, I feel like we're I don't know, it feels like we're more I don't know, I don't know how to say it. I feel like we have to cover it. I feel like it gives us more like street cred. You know?
Inclined.
Oh, that's interesting because I mean, Gantz is getting a movie.
Gantz,
so like
and
it's 800 chapters, but we have to, right? We have to cover it.
well, not everything. I'm just kidding. Gantz too. I mean, if you guys want to see us do more like
Gantz in my pants.
anything, I think that's what we called the.
Yeah.
We said that a lot.
Yeah, we did say that a
It's
lot.
just so fun.
But I mean,
I tried. My roommates are watching Cowboy Bebop for the movie, and they're like, "Oh, Gantz is getting adapted. Like, what's that about?" I'm like, "Okay, so these guys get hit by it. Yeah,
where do I start?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might be that we start to cover more of those things as more news comes out. But yeah, I mean what a better time than now, especially since, like I said, like we already have content on our channel about these series. So in the meantime, go back and check out any previous episodes related to either Gantz or Spy Family or anything we've talked about. And in the future, expect more Spy Family, maybe more Gantz. And you can always let us know what you want to see more of by letting us know in the comments down below.
Because if we see new comments on old videos, then we're like, oh, then interest is spiking again, and maybe we can revisit them. So maybe
Yeah.
go back to Gantz and comment on it.
Yeah. And like I said, expect us to enact.
Megan liked Gantz.
Yeah.
I can't say that I didn't.
There you go. And expect,
there we have it.
That was
expect
good.
when that Spy Family anime comes out, expect us to be reacting to some of those episodes too. But yeah, that's going to do it for another episode. Thank you guys as always for sticking around, hanging out, having fun with us. Before we go, we have to shout out our wonderful, amazing, beautiful, I would say
Special agents.
Special agents.
I don't need a spy
Patreon members
to know that I love them.
Yes. All of you. I would say that, if you guys had a spy name, it would be probably 0069.
Oh.
They have our volume 1 love.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would totally go shopping with you guys like Anya did in Spy.
Yes. I can't read your minds, but I can't read your minds or predict the future.
Oh, okay.
But I know that we'll always be there for you because you're always there for us.
You're
right,
our
Cody?
family.
You're our family. God damn, why didn't we just say that from the beginning?
That would have been good.
Anyway, thank you guys for real.
Spy X's and O's.
Why now? Why at the end? Thank you guys.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Why that?
Well, I don't know. I heard that phrase recently.
I just
Okay.
wanted to incorporate it into
Rome
the
wasn't built
conversation.
in a day. It was burned down in one, though.
Oh.
I like the second half. Thank you for your support. Your support means the world
Burning down the house.
to us. And as always, if you'd like to become a Patreon member, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. We are settling into our new release schedule, but you are still going to get at our lowest tier early access to all of our videos. You are going to get access to our exclusive Patreon exclusive bonus podcast, Volume 1 Extra. And you're just going to be helping us and supporting us by doing so. And so if you want to be a part of the family and take the extra step, patreon.com/volume1.
Now, I'm receiving visions of Megan talking about the algorithm gang.
Oh, it's funny that you say that, Cody. Because I am going to. The algorithm gang is just a little gang, not a big deal. But it is a big deal to us, actually. I don't know why I said it's not a big deal. If you comment anything on our videos, algorithm gang, even a period, it helps boost that up, and it helps us a lot.
Yeah, and don't think it means nothing, because all the engagement YouTube puts into their ad money, so you can consider each thing a little tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm reading Josh's mind.
What's on my mind?
Leftovers.
Yeah. How'd you know? Where are we eating?
Another buffet.
Thank you, as always, for watching, and thank you all, as always, for your support, no matter how you choose to show it. We appreciate it. Even if you're just watching and hanging out, we appreciate that as well. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes, which today is
Estella.
Not bad. I think we got some good ones at the end, like the Spy X's and O's thing.
I like that.
I really like that one.
I like that.
Okay.
I like
that a lot. So until next time, Spy XOXO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
It's a little punch.
Thank you for listening. And until next time,
Spy
XOXO.
I thought we were going to do Spy Family XOXO.
You thought we weren't going to do the thing that was said.
I had a blip.
A blip?
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Okay.